Gloria Chavez and Ronald Flynn are the candidates for mayor in a large city. We want to estimate the proportion P of all registered voters in the city who plan to vote for Chavez with 95% confidence and a margin of error no greater than 0.03. How large a random sample do we need? Show your work. Okay, well, first thing we know is the maximum margin of error is 0.03, right? And we want a 95% confidence interval. But they don't give us a sample proportion to estimate this population proportion that we're looking for, right? So, whenever this situation arises, it's good to be on the safe side and just give sample proportion an estimate of zero point 0.5. Okay? So when we don't know, it's good to give just sample proportion of zero point 0.5. Okay? So let's go ahead and do the problem with this in mind. So we have a 1 minus 0.95 over 2 to get our corresponding z values, right? So, so 1 minus 0.95 is 0.025, right? So this will be 0.025, 0.025, and here is 0.95, right? So we have to find these corresponding z values, right, for our inequality. So let's go ahead and find those corresponding z values. Okay, so here's our table. It was 0.025. 0.025 exactly, right? So that corresponds with the z-score negative 1.96. So 1.96. So let's go ahead and go back. So this will be uh, negative 1.96, and this will be positive 1.96. So remember, our inequality is z star times the square root of p hat times 1 minus p hat all over n has to be less than or equal to the maximum margin of error. So here's our inequality, and we're looking for the number that would be needed in the sample space, right? So remember, generally, this implies that n has to be bigger than or equal to, so it was z star over the maximum margin of error squared times p hat times 1 minus p hat. And now n is bigger than or equal to, so our z star was that 1.96, right? 1.96. Our maximum margin of error was 0.03 squared. Remember, since we weren't given a sample proportion estimate, we're using the estimate of 0.5. And then 1 minus p hat would be 0.5. All right, so this means that n would have to be bigger than or equal to 1067.11. Gloria Chavez should take, so Gloria Chavez should take, I guess her team, right? Her stats team. Take a simple random sample of n is equal to 1068 registered voters in the city. Right, so to meet these conditions, right, Gloria Chavez should get a sample size of 1068.